Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Or should I say, buonasera. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for coming. First of all, I would like to pay condolences to what happened in Taipo. And we have all the respect. And we hope we can channel this discussion to see how we can make the place, the world, a better place. So thank you for coming. Today we have four speakers. First we have Lucia, and then we have Giorgio, and then Gianmaria, and then Jonathan. They are all very amazing, talented designers from Italy. And today we are going to embark on an Italian journey to think about what we can do with different materials, from glass, bricks, and then to paper. First, we have Lucia. And Lucia was from IUAV Venice, and then she studied at RCA in London. She worked with glass in different form and color. And then she is based in Murano, Venice, and also worked in a home factory with the family. She has exhibited in Salone di Mobile, Venice Design Biennale, V&A London, and also in Tokyo. And then we have GROOVIDO. They are composed of two designers from the Netherlands. They are based in the Netherlands, but both from Italy, Gianmaria and also Giorgio. And they were graduated from the Design Academy of Eindhoven, and then they work with New Culture on materials. They have exhibited in Paris Design Week, Milan Design Week, HKDI, and also ADI in Milan, and also work exhibition in Dutch Design Week. And then we have Jonathan Bocca. He graduated from the IED of Florence and also worked on the, UAL in London. He is based in Lucca in Tuscany. He worked with recycled paper and sculpture. He has exhibited in Isola, in Lake Como, and also in Alcova in Milan. So today, welcome. We have a very quick question for you three. But before all the questions, we should go into your introduction. So perhaps, Lucia, you can have 8 minutes per person
Hello.
to talk about your projects.
Yes, this is me. Hello, I'm Lucia. I'm based in Venice. I am not a glass designer. I'm a product designer. I have been working with glass for, just this last period of time. As it's really really close to my house. It's just 10 minutes far from my house. I'm where Murano is. I don't know if you guys know, but there is an island really close to Venice, which is all dedicated to glass, in the glass industries. So everything that is related with the glass, all the techniques is just made there. So it has been there from the 14th century. So there's a really long history in glass making. So I just want to show you, I'm just going to talk about some of my glass projects. Just because I'm showing you here at P&Q Glass, so I really wanted to just introduce you to my process, just showing some experiments that I've made with glass. They're not projects, they are experiments. So this is one, which is called al dente. I'm just using these glass rods. They're called glass canes in Venice. And it comes in different colors, in different shapes, and la la la. So what I like about glass is it's a really stubborn material. It has this stubborn will, and it kind of does, its own, job without really a lot of constraints. So what I like to do is normally just give a little bit of limit, some boundaries to the glass, and just let it kind of do its own job. So for instance, with this project, this experiment, I've just used this metal wire, and then I just fire them into this glass kiln, and then it became something really totally unexpected. So I kind of like how glass can actually move in the space. So also from something that is really hard, it becomes something that is completely soft and kind of moving, and it kind of becomes a sort of like a monster in the space. This is another experiment I made with using glass sheets, which normally are used for stained glass windows. And this was part of my interest in using glass as a moldable color, as a moldable material. So I've just used these scraps of sheets for just making random shapes. And they just melt them together in flat. And then I kind of place them randomly in this mold. So they kind of became something, with their own sort of shape, just moving around in the space as well. So I kind of like the fact that the glass is a material and structure at the same times, and also that it's almost like a 2D collage that became 3D, and decoration again. So it's something that is kind of circular. So this is another project which is it's a take on Arcimboldo, which is a painter from the Renaissance, in which he was using objects for just making portraits. With this project, I was working with this company, which is one of the last remaining company who does glass mirrors in Murano. And as you can see, they're really Baroque. They're really overly decorated. And I kind of I used all these decorations, so they are leaves, flowers, curls, rosettes, and I kind of placed them instead of like nose, eyes, beards, and hairs. So with this project, it was my intention to just make something even more decorated, and to just kind of just sort of like desacralize this idea of the Murano glass, which is something that kind of looks, fixated in times and very much sort of like religious and untouchable. And I made light out of it in different shapes, and it's an ongoing project. So if any one of you wants to have a portrait, I can make a portrait in glass. So Animalier is another project, which is basically it's a take on these small figures that you can find in every shops in Venice, and most of them are actually clutter because they're not even made in Murano. Apparently they are, I don't know, bad taste, badly made, and there's so many that it's really hard to see the beauty of it. So because also this is a small video, but it's not playing. Oh no, it is. Wow. So yeah, you can see from this video that is kind of, that is really, I don't know, they're sort of like monstrous, and they're not really, they're weird. I really wanted to work on this idea that glass can be recycled over and over if it's made with this the same chemical composition. With this, I started actually using all these animals, and I heat them up so they can be flat in the oven, and I just roll them up again into the mass of glass. So they could distort, they could blow up, they could actually move around in the hot mass. What I liked is the fact that glass can really make his own covers. So also the colors itself, they kind of pull each other because they made with different chemical composition. So everything is moving, and I kind of like the fact that I'm kind of giving the glass the freedom to move around and to make, to just design what he wants. So finally, I'm going to show you the project that I'm showing here in PMQ. And this is Primavera, and this is a painting from Arcimboldo. And this is basically a project that is just a position between the two projects, the previous one I've shown you. So one is the mirrors, and the other one is the gathering of the animals. So I just took the two, one technique and the other decoration, and I just kind of gather them into the molten glass again. So I made those lights and that you see.
Thank you. These looks really amazing. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Shall we have GROOVIDO?
Yes.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Gian Maria della Ratta and he's Giorgio Gasco. We are gonna do a little bit of this because we are a duo, an Italian duo based in the Netherlands between Rotterdam and Eindhoven. As Dennis said, we graduated from the Master in Contextual Design, and then we decided to open a furniture design studio where we combine materials with contemporary subculture. I'm gonna start with this a sort of very provocative project that we did. Actually, this was our very first project that we did back in 2020, and this was the start of the studio. As you can see here, we have very traditional stucco decoration, so plaster, and we used stucco in the past was used to tell stories, not only to decorate, and we used it to actually combine it with the business of the cam industry, so cam girls, because we did this project, as you might also know, during the pandemic. So in that period, that was something that was kind of hyped. So we decided to take inspiration from that industry to and digital movement and combine it with something very traditional from Italy. So we decided to make some wall stucco decoration lamps with LED coming from LED symbols and attitudes coming from the coming world, together with stucco, and then we also decided to build a scenography for TAC and United Cowboys, in which we made a performance together with a cam girl that for the first time was actually performing in a theater scene and not behind the camera. So we brought her performance live for the public.
Hello, everyone. But we not only do self-initiated projects, sometimes we receive some commissions from companies. In this case, we want to talk about 70 Materia, an Italian company, also from Veneto. They asked us to innovate and do some research and development for them on terrazzo material. So terrazzo is reconstructed stone. There's different sort of grains and different stones that you can put in the main mass. And for them, we use very pop colors, and we created a collection of textures. So everything in order to achieve a new kitchen modules. In this case, it is being presented in Salone del Mobile this year at Spazio Maiocchi, very nice space, by the way. And here we also took inspiration for all the drawers from some TikTok stories where people were like very organizing the items inside the storage. So we always have references a bit in the digital world, digital culture, and we try also with the color to be very playful. And then I will go back to Gian Maria.
And then we come to the bricks. This is also a project that actually we are presenting now at deTour, but this was our very first tryout back in 2022 because a company called Rodruza in the Netherlands had an innovation. So for the very first time was possible to innovate such a material. In fact, as you can see from the image, that are the bricks that you all know. So it's clay that you bake in the oven, and then it changes color based on the clay color. And sometimes they manually put some charcoal on top, and that will get some variation in terms of black spots on the facades. But we spent actually 6 months in the R&D lab where we experimented with this new technology that prints ceramic pigments on top of bricks of clay, and then they go all together in the oven. They're gonna be baked, and in this way the color pop up, and you can have beautiful textures and colors actually. But we did not stop there. Also this time we wanted to merge this technology, this innovation with a digital subculture. So we went into gaming and we took inspiration from RPG video games, and we made an exhibition in TAC during Dutch Design Week where we created a role-play game environment where people were free to explore and play this game by also interacting with the furniture and the panels. We actually also made a huge dragon, which is not in the presentation.
And now we are at today. So for deTour, we presented just downstairs a set of 2 tables and 4 stools. To present this innovation we are working on, we really wanted to bond, also to connect to the topic of this year. We really wanted to connect to the tradition here in Hong Kong of playing, for example, Chinese chess in the parks. So we brought here 2 tables, one where you can play Chinese chess, the other one animal chess. And during the last days, we enjoy hearing stories and playing with you guys. And it's a nice dialogue, but also it's indeed an opportunity to see and to use our technology and possibilities on printing on ceramic on these kind of tables. And to do that, we had to do also some adaptations. So we always started from the traditional iconography that we could find by researching, and then we adapted to our bricks grid. So indeed, some elements, they're a bit stretched, they're a bit different. We added some color. But as much as possible, we try to respect and follow the traditional aspect. For the stools, we actually took inspiration from the pattern of the 2 games in terms of the battlefield. So one is like the ground of the battlefield, the other one is the forest. Of course, we made it abstract, but the idea is that when you sit, you're sitting inside the game on top of the battlefield. So thank you.
Thank you so much. And then we have Jonathan.
Hello. Hello, everyone. My name is Jonathan. I'm from Italy, and I have a studio in Lucca. We start. Now it's 3 years that we've been studying paper and industry from our territories, and I will bring a bit you in my word, and I will show you our research. Everything starts between connecting factories with historical factories with the historical manifestation and also historical like art tradition of Lucca. In the first photo, on the top you see a 70s industry back in the days that is making paper. Lucca is a city that is very well known in Europe for the production of tissue paper, cardboard, and all the, let's say, type of paper that you can find in the market. And the interesting part that it's like it's always connected, like industry between like art world, and that's why in the seaside during February there is a carnival, as maybe everyone knows the Brazilian one, but we have also this one in Italy that starts to become very famous, and all the floats of these carnivals are all made by paper. So they are using the discard of the paper from the industry, and together with artistic techniques, they're realizing these huge, massive like floats for the carnival. When I started to like my design career, I was very bored by like design in general. Like I was thinking that design is more than just like making a good like furniture and making like a nice design. Was more about story and uniqueness of the product. So I don't think that the product needs to be treated like as a product, but as something that share with us like experience and share with us like stories, and so more like an animal. Okay, so we have to take care about that. And all my designs always comes from like dreams and sketches and like reflection on everyday life, because I do think that nowadays we have to we are losing daily by day like emotional intelligence, and we should reconnect with them, and we should like get my like deep inside, because right now the society is very fast, like it's very selfish, and we are not like looking for deep things right now. And I do think that we have to come back like on how it was earlier, in order to create unique things and things that can inspire also the design and the people of tomorrow. My first exhibition was regarding that, so I was wondering to like I had this little experience drawing inspiration from the surrealism period, that the surrealists were wake up in the morning and just drawing as the first hour in the morning, because that was calling the cathartic moment. So it was a moment where the people, it's still connected with the dream, but it's already wake up, and so has the awareness to be alive. Okay, they were saying. So I designed for like 1 month every day objects, and then I decided to like realize a kind of like a surrealistic room that was calling oggetti inquieti, because oggetti inquieti means restless objects. So because you cannot perceive that these are you can see that these are not just like objects, but there is like a movement. So it seems like to be a kind of like a zoo feeling, so full of animals that are going around. And I really like these things of do not be static, so that objects looks like that they are kind of moving and having life. And so this was my first experience into 2021 in the Biennale of Paper of Lucca. And they allow me to recycle all the discard from the other installations. So all the artists that came into that year, they produced like a waste, and I recycled that waste, and I realized my own pieces. And this was my first ever exhibition. And then, after a few years, I get the chance to be in Salone. And I was invited in 2023 to present into Alcova, Milan. And here I get the chance to like realize a kind of like little living room with let's say this kind of monsters, okay, and I start also my own research regarding like animals. So like this is the giraffe lamp. As you see, like always, products that are not just like products, but I hope that these as I think like are more like a creatures that live in your space, like because this was the intention, like to bring creatures into the spaces of tomorrow. after that, after Alcova, I get invited into Lake of Como Design Week. Giovanna Massoni invites me, and I'm not used to deliver concept to design first and to projects. It's more free things. I realize drawings, and then if they accept it, okay. Otherwise, they can call another designer. And in this case, I realized this drawing with my niece. And because we were together, and I said, okay, I'm not good with color. Please, you're a baby, you can do better than me. And she helps me with that. And I also like this experience because I do think that babies and children can see something that we cannot see, and so nothing. We presented first into Salone, and then last year we got a chance together with AD, that was my old school, to exhibit in Alcova, Miami. And as you see, the intention is always to do not just make a living room, but make a living room, but really lived by by creatures that are kind of walking around the house, and gives this feeling of having something that is not just an object. It's something that you can. I don't know, taking care. You can it's like to have a dog rather than an object. So this was the intention of all the projects. And of course, all the time that we are realizing a project is made by paper, and we collect the waste of the paper from the industry, and we re-elaborate it, and we realizing all the objects. So because for me it's very important that the eco-friendly part of the project. I don't think that eco-friendly needs to be something that needs to be mentioned, but should be a starting point for discussion. And that this was a kind of interesting experience. I get the chance to realize my first solo show a few years ago, and I decided to do it in the city center of Lucca. Even if I was able to do it in Milano, I give this name that was quite I like it, torno a casa. That I'm back home. When you are away from a long time, you say to your mom, I'm back home. And that was a kind of feeling that I was wanting to bring into my hometown. And we realized this collection that has as you see, it's always set that kind of animal, creatures that are leaving the space instead of just objects. And I really like this concept of having things that are emotionally connected with us. Then I get a commission last year from Hilton, and I realized for Hilton of Como a collection of chairs. So we basically start from the point of reinterpreting the paper, and they give me the chance to realize my first collection of chairs, because I never done chairs before, maybe one, but not that much. And so it was very funny also because it was the purple one that you see on the left is a tribute to Gaetano Pesce, that passed away that year, basically few weeks before Lake of Como. And for me, Gaetano was very important, as an inspiration, and also for what he have done into the design world. And also here, I was wanting to show the potential of paper, how we can rethink to a material that it's actually a waste, and the potential of creativity when we're using creativity for making something more rather than something that is unuseful. And yeah, so this was the collection for Lake of Como. This year I got the chance to exhibit in Cinque Vie, and I call this Fuoco Dentro, because I'm very related to red. I think that we all in our lives has a red period, which is the period that you are get fire. So get the fire inside, and you want to maybe exhibit. And for this exhibition I realized two pieces. That one is Senziente, the sofa, so it means consciousness, because I do think that we need to be conscious of what we are doing. And then And then we have, yeah. And then we can move on to the one of PMQ, so sorry. And for PMQ, I was wondering, like, to, rather than think about, like, animals, I was wanting to bring from my dreams, like, this sensation of being under a cloud. So I start to really connect to, not to the monster itself, so a figure, but like rather an experience of like just watching the, like you know, like this life is very busy sometimes, and also in the big cities we are like I'm not coming from a big city, but I lived in London for a while. I lived in Rome, Florence. I travel a bit in my life, and when I experience living in a very frenetic city, I do think that we are losing kind of like the normal moment, we can say. So like as just sit down, watch clouds, or sit under the tree and just admire like what the nature can give to us. So this piece is a reflection for like people like to enjoy not just the special moment, but also find a special moment into like normal days or normal routine. So this is everything from me. I hope that you understand anything. If you have any question, otherwise I pass the word to Dennis, and thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you, Jonathan. So I have questions for all of you. There are some quick questions and brutal ones, actually. So for Jonathan, your works, you want people to love the work that you do because you talk about the animal and you talk about something that is more fun. Do you think people, or do you wish people to love it right away because it's a recycled project? Do you think it's better to have recycled materials, or do you think it's better to have virgin materials? Virgin, yeah.
What do you mean for virgin?
Like materials that are new.
Okay.
Like, would people love materials that are not from the new things, but recycled? Like something that people threw away, something that is trash. What's your view on that?
I do think that, like, right, it's a big question, okay, you know, like, and I give my view, okay. I do think that when we are speaking about creativity, when we are speaking like about something that it's not mandatory to be in a new material, for example. So I mean, when we are speaking about, there are some projects like I mean, if we are talking about maybe urgency design, maybe you need a virgin material. But because we are talking about things that are saving life, but when we are talking about creativity, collectible design, or this like word. In general, art, I do think that it's necessary to use the waste material because art, it's something that connects to people in deep. And it's through the history, we all see that like art, it's always has a deep message and live forever in case like the art works. So if we want to teach to the future generation and we want to make people aware and give like, because like the responsibility for waste is not like just something that needs to be taken care. It's something that needs to be normal, you know, like as an attitude. Right? It's from tomorrow we need to wake up, and for us it's normal to upcycle. It's normal to, but in our daily life also, like when you have a new house, you build furniture, or maybe you like make the vases out of plastic. But I want that this in the future is not just an attitude from designers. It's going to be an attitude for everyone. You know, like everyone needs to make that in, because if we all gonna do that, we're gonna fix a problem. Otherwise, if we just delegate that to designer to give just a meaning, it's I'm not agree. I hope that in the future, my work as the work of like other colleagues and all the colleagues can just inspire the future people to like take the environment and also take waste and recycle as something that we have to do every day.
Okay. Speaking of materials that can be reused and then remake, Lucia, glass is something that you can refire again and again. And you have been working with the technique from the Venetian technique for over like 800,000 years of techniques, right, from Venice. And you have been working with different glass makers and glass workers. And you are pushing the boundary every time. Have you experienced a moment where the craftsman would say, Lucia, I can't do anymore because you are pushing too far. I can't really bend it over. I can't really make it happen. Have you been pushing a little bit too hard?
If I've been pushed too hard. Well, I think that's the most fun part is actually pushing hard. Otherwise it's like another vase that is produced in Murano. I think it's. I've got nice stories that are actually related to this subject because I've been working, for instance, when this technique of just rolling up, it's something that is used in Murini. So when you do a Murini base, you just have these Murini tiles where you actually place them in the base and then you roll them up. But the technical part of the craft is actually blowing the Murini in a way that you won't actually distort the Murini at all. So you will actually have the vase, which will look exactly as the Murini without any distortion. So this is the mastery. Like they actually can tell how good the mastery is when the piece is not distorted. So imagine me like going there and saying, I want everything to be completely distorted. So everyone was just like, oh my God, we can't do that. It's gonna distort everything. It's gonna, come up really weird. And it's like, yes, that's what I want. And they've been saying no for like a long period of time. I was just like going there saying, yeah, but let's try, let's do. And then one day I came there with this, because, you have to wait. You do a vase and then you have to come back 2 days after to see, and it comes out from the kiln. And one guy came to me and was like, oh, I'm so sorry, it came out so bad. It just, and it was like, oh my God, this is amazing. So I think it's just like, they also are artisan. They're not master anymore in a way that they tend to do what you ask them to do. But then they have their own aesthetic that is kind of embedded in centuries of, making glass and knowing what is beautiful and knowing what's traditionally beautiful means. So of course you're just giving them something that is really unexpected. It's something that they've not been seen before. So I used to talk to people there and they were just saying, yeah, I've never seen this before. So this is, I think for me, is like a win-win. Like having people that, working for ages on the material and saying to me that, was something new. This really helped me to kind of keep going and, feeling that I was in the right direction.
Yeah, it's an art to negotiate between you and also the craftsmen and the workers and the artists.
Yes.
Yeah, speaking of that, in contrary, GROOVIDO, you got approached by a company who wants to have the new technique to be applied, right? So in that sense, you are already having the technology to print on the brick. So let's say if suddenly there's, in Hong Kong, there's a developer, they want 18 buildings to have all the bricks to be done by your design. Are you gonna say yes or are you gonna say no? Because it's gonna be a mass-produced thing and it's huge amount. In terms of craft, do you think it is in your case, are you appreciating handcraft or mass craft or even digital craft?
Answer now. Do you have a preference on who's going to answer?
The first answer I would say is yes.
That's correct. And we hope he's there, actually, this client. Maybe.
Maybe. Please, Giorgio.
So it is an interesting question because indeed, like as artist, as designer, it's always interesting. Where's your scale, right? Like where you're gonna stop. This working with bricks is a bit working with Lego or Pixel. So potentially it's like it goes full on skyscraper, right? It could be full on, and we actually already work in a bigger scale than what you see here. So we actually would like to have also these kind of bigger commissions because it is possible. But for that, we will for sure have some help for industry because the what we are able to accomplish with our own workshop and hands so far, it covers a spectrum of production that is just before architectural scale. So industry can produce 200,000 bricks on, so that's the minimum order, and below that they would say no, it's not possible. That's where we are at the moment. That's where it's our target, because of this reason, because it already happens to more demand. Yeah. So, but in that sense, the graphic part and the construction of like developing textures, that's something very interesting, and it's very close to the tile industry, where indeed you design actually one tile that can become a very large surface.
You could say that if you go, for example, of course, like on a furniture scale level, then it looks like you might have more craft in it, but you might also think of when you go to a mass production scale, since we already had the possibility to do a building in Amsterdam, then the craft lies not onto the production itself, but onto the creation of the digital texture, for example. And in there, like, we have more freedom and fantasy to work with.
Would you also say for your design is about crafting the story and crafting the narrative behind it? Because the way how you work with games, not just this project, it's an interactive game that is connected to Hong Kong and to the local culture. But in your previous projects, you also work with RPG games. Why would you bring this into your design, into your projects? Is that because of the interest in a contextual design? Or is that because you yourself is actually crafting the methodology of designing for your practice?
For sure, we have both a background in contextual design. So at the Design Academy, we have been taught to always create a storytelling around our project. So for sure, we think like it's coming. What you see is also coming from that specific background, but on the other hand, we also think like we really like to take inspiration from contemporary subculture and to connect them to design, to furniture, to products. We don't necessarily only look at games. What you see is because a bigger part of digital culture is also like the most famous parts are like, you know, the gaming culture, and I'm a gamer myself, of course, maybe Giorgio less. But what we really like from this digital world is like the fantasy aspect that we really want to embed into our furniture products.
Somehow gaming world, it's really about freedom, and there you can be whoever you want, right? You can go around, discover, like, and there is the fantasy aspect that it really is very appealing for a designer, for curious people, right? Like, you can have everything. That's why for the past exhibition with bricks, we made a big dragon, and then we said to the company, if we can make a dragon, we can make everything. So this was...
Actually, yeah, this is an interesting point because really the company, when approached us with this innovation, they just wanted something very formal, like very product-wise, commerciable, I don't know how to say, but we said like, give us the freedom to experiment with this and you're gonna see that you can do much, much more with it. So we were lucky to find a company that gave us the freedom to experiment, and we are happy actually that that was the result in the end, and not just some black spots.
For Jonathan, when you were trying to create this piece for Hong Kong, you were talking about you want people to sit on it and then to look at the cloud that you create and then contemplate the time and the speed of the city, whether we can take a relief or whether we can take a moment to stop, right? But at the same time, your piece is very iconic. It is sculptural. How do you differentiate between having a piece that is very Instagrammable or is a piece that has a very deep meaning that would like people to sit and then spend time to experience it and then to think about life, etc. There's a contrast between momentums and for a long time that you take in slowly and slowly.
Is it Instagrammable for you?
Some people like to take photos. Some people like to take snapshots. The way how we experience life now, it's in a very quick manner. Would you prefer audiences from...
It's just because it's something that I never thought about. And when I start a project, I never think about Instagrammability. Like, it's something that, I don't know, maybe it's the aesthetic that works, but I never think about that. I always, unfortunately right now, you cannot sit actually on it because we had an issue with the cloud, so I also ask sorry for that. But yeah, the intention of the project was the experience, and if I have to give an answer, like honestly, in my job, I never think about social media, like, and also like I never thought about like people making photo of my stuff, like it's happened. Like, yeah, I have to say it's happened back in the days, but I never thought about that it's something important. I do think that when you're working well and the things work, those things are come. Like the main part is what you were saying before. It's regarding what you want to communicate and the experience that you want to make the people live, I think. And also think about like how they want to feel when they see that things, and when and mainly how you want to feel, like how I want to feel, because I do think that the social media and all these kind of things are coming later, and are always come if the works work. But like the main part, it's about you and what you want to feel and what you want the others feel when they see it and when they experience it. So yeah, I think that the main part is that, like the rest of the things are not so important, at least for me.
Yeah, it's really interesting that all three groups and artists, your pieces are asking for people to stay and to look at it, to sit on it or to play with it. Lucia, when I was looking at your pieces over there, the details are meticulous, and different angles looking through the glass reveal different colors, reflection, etc. There are many details about flowers, about swirls, like these techniques from the Venetian. when you are thinking about it, how do you, and you have been pushing the innovation in all the pieces that you have done, how do you decide the moments that you stop and you think this is the best balance between the tradition that you ask the craftsman to work on and your innovation in your mind?
I would say I'm starting from in tradition, but I'm not really interested in tradition somehow. I'm more interested in the symbols that we actually inherited from the tradition. So the act is not really how to somehow reinvent the tradition or to keep the craft alive or things like that, but it's more about not the decoration. So I understand. You can see a lot of details, but it's not about decoration. It's more about the act of changing this perception. So it's about using these symbols and then to kind of stretch it into something that is unexpected. So when you actually blow a piece and the decoration kind of enlarged, so you have the big, you have the colorful, you use these symbols and you kind of stretch them. You kind of you make it bolder, and so you're actually, working on the act more than the final outcome. So that's why I'm interested in, interested in what the final pieces look like, but more. So I give this to the glass. So that's why I'm saying I'm not interested in the final outcome. I'm more interested in the acting, in the action of changing things. So that's why I'm leaving the glass to do this job for me. So I'm just giving a little bit of constraints, a little bit of boundaries, and then I leave the glass to move around. So that's why I also for instance, the mirrors are kind of misbehaving because they're not functional anymore. So I'm using decoration, I'm using the idea of decoration to kind of stretch it until it's extremely decoration. So you won't see anymore, you won't actually reflect anymore. So I think I'm happy when I'm just seeing when the outcomes is completely unexpected, when I see that it's kind of changed in a way that I see there is something familiar, but it's not, it's there's something familiar, but it's not there anymore. It kind of turned to be something completely new.
So when you're working with the craftsman, you fire glass. So you put the glass pieces, you put inside the kiln and you fire it, right?
Yeah.
And I suppose this is the second time of firing. You already have some...
Yeah, the element already made.
Right.
Yeah.
And somehow you have some three-dimensional mode to allow it to drape, to allow it to merge and to fuse. Is that correct?
Depending which project, actually.
Right. And all these skills, you are asking the craftsman to work on a different way of working, I would say. What's that very difficult? Again, coming back to the negotiation between you and the craftsman, was it too advanced and too innovative for them? And how do you do the convincing to achieve what you want? Because in the end, everything wouldn't be no until you open the kiln after the cooling and the annealing process, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's extremely, as I said before, it's not that in the decoration there is the extreme. It's not in them. Of course, there's layers of different craft. So there is the guy who makes this, and then the guy who blows that. So there are different artisan working on my pieces, and each of them have different, jobs. With each of them, I asked different tasks, and for these tasks already are, like for instance, using colors that never are used before, or and so on and so on. But I think the very interesting part is not really in those pieces. It's more, as I said before, on the act of kind of blowing them into new nature. So it's like the distortion. It's the part that is very much innovative, let's say. So not really in the piece itself. So the vase, is still a vase, and I think it's more like the act of embedding and the act of living, the glass, just give freedom to the glass is part of the, innovation.
I like the sentence, a vase is still a vase. For GROOVIDO, a brick is still a brick. When did you see the moment that from a boring brick, you can turn into something really interesting and something that can be contextual, and also something that will can be a new business for the company? When did you see the moment of this?
I think when we used the color blue, because the lightness of the blue, it reminds us to also the Chinese porcelain as well, but also that has been copied by the Dutch blue Delft. So we really saw the surface changing from white to this, it kind of reached a depthness that wasn't there before, because indeed you said like the brick is massive, it's heavy. So when we were able to see the furniture we did with a much lighter sense of existence, then in that moment I think was a pretty satisfying realization.
I would say also for me, but I would say like at the beginning, like when the company called us, they said, okay, you're gonna work on bricks, because they could not disclose, because there was an NDA and they could not disclose what kind of new innovation was it. So for us, a brick was, as you said, probably boring as a designer. But then when we went there and we actually saw the potential of it, I think that was also a moment of realization that we were doing something on a bigger scale, not not just furniture, but changing the scenography of a city. Let's say, because if you, especially in the north of Europe, in UK or in the Netherlands itself, the brick is something very prominent. Like if you go there, all the houses are made of bricks. So, like being able to change the brick in such a radical way, and for us was like something exceptional. And we hope like it's gonna become something for buildings and interior design very soon.
And perhaps this question applies to all three, but carry on from the bricks. When you are designing, because there's the printing technique, you can also print, I suppose, I'm not sure what's the limit, but I can imagine if you print really amazing colors on it and then give it also a change of the form of the brick. Like, it can be really different from what we see, but now it is the stool that you have made, and also the table you have made. You chose to have the pattern for the stool, something more subtle, something that connects maybe with your idea. And then the table, you print on the game, right, that people will interact. The question for all three of you is, when you have innovation and when you have tradition, where do you see the point where you think this would be a good balance and this would be the sweet spot when you are working with the design? Do you consider commercial viability, visibility? Do you think of, I don't know, safety? Do you think of the purchasing value for the art piece in the end? Where do you see would be the point that you would decide between the spectrum, within the spectrum?
I will answer in a bit off answer is when I will be able to go back home in Italy, because maybe my colleague will tell me if it is like that or not. But I moved to the Netherlands because I felt, and we are talking about 9-10 years ago, the need to be as much innovative as possible. And I felt in Italy the innovation was not. There's a lot of tradition indeed in Italy, okay, because the big super heritage it's there, and we have a lot of history. It's difficult to see a building demolished for like a new building, okay. So I moved in a place where they have by law 20 years in building, and then they need to demolish it so that the economy can still grow, right? I see that now in Italy things are changing, and I hope that because it is in one of my dreams to go back also in my country, where we will be able to bring the project, and that's why also we connect always with tradition, because to innovate we think we do need to be very, very close to traditions.
I think that it's a deep question. I do think that right now we have an historical moment of in Italy we have the possibility to change right now, because before when I remember the words of also Fernando Lapos when I worked with him in Syracuse, that he graduated some years before me in Center San Martin, and he was always said for me was sad that every time we were starting a project thinking about molds, thinking about plastic aesthetic, thinking about globalization, and that these pieces needs to go all around the world, and with that we are losing also tradition, we are losing techniques, we are losing those things that I think makes an object unique and special. And I'm very fascinating about this timing period that we are living right now, because Italy, as Giorgio was said, has a really huge, as China as well, a really huge heritage and tradition. And now I think that we have the heads that can take that techniques and that tradition and make something new and something unique with that, and make also a new, as for the radical period in Italy, we can take what it was from the past and we can shape the future with the past right now, I think, because we passed that period of the globalization, we passed that aesthetic. Right now I think young talents are more related to the roots and are more respectful of the roots, and we are not just kind of I think we have an attitude of finding the future into the past, rather than before that we were trying to finding a future into futuristic things, and we are seeing futuristic things into the past things, and I think that this is a cool attitude right now, and I'm proud of that, and I hope that this attitude will grow and grow more, also because I do think that can brings less standardization of things and more creativity also for the future generation.
That's a very deep answer to this as well. Lucia, how about you?
I think, I don't know, we all have this idea of tradition as something that is kind of fixed in time, that is something that is kind of belongs to the past. And it's a fixated image that kind of comes back exactly the same over and over, you know. And I think we kind of need, I mean, my work also is this sort of probably stretching this line between tradition and innovation. I think it's very important. I think it's in a way. I mean, we really have to use those heritage that we have. I think it's something that is kind of. It's not just the historical importance that it has, but also the craft that is embedded in this. This tradition. Also, like all the people that have been working with this. The craft and have been passing on to new generation. I think we're kind of losing a little bit of all these, skills and abilities. And I think it's not just about reinventing, but kind of keeping, these skills of, hand skills and time-related skills, which are very much, we are very much losing with the coming of AI and things like that, which is like a bigger, subject here that we are probably not talking about. But I think it's just, very important to keep tradition as work of human, like work of, that kind of keeps us connected as human. And maybe I'm a big fan of mistakes and errors and things that kind of don't really talk about beauty in general. But I think craft and tradition really has a lot of this sort of taste of the handmade that kind of have this embedded in the in the craft.
Well, all three of you studied abroad at certain stage. Did that bring something to you that you've changed the way how you look at your roots or look at your tradition? What was the big effect that changed?
I think that for me, for example, was very important because you start to see what's happening out there. Imagine, I think, a guy that burns in a 80,000 people city, like that. Okay, maybe you can have an eye on the world because maybe you can find media to get known about what is happening in the world. But I think that there is a difference between know something and experience something. And I do think that go away and look and always find new inspiration. It's fundamental for your career. Like I do think that because also, like if you have the chance to live in a city like London, New York, Hong Kong as well, sometimes there are energies around, and if you can catch those energies and get in contact with that world and learn also like from underground maybe culture that then becomes culture, that it's interesting. Like I remember the first years of, for example, first exhibitions of Max Lamb in London, first times of like these kind of things, like when I mean, collectible design were existing, but was not already collectible design. First galleries were doing shows, and I was fascinating about that. Like, but at that point was not institutionalized as now. No, like was more kind of like in between institution and underground. Like, was not even an artistic recognized movement. And so I do think it's very important, like to come out from your cage and watch what is out in order like to shape your future.
I agree in general. I would say it also depends like from where you come from in the world. Me personally, I come from a very, very small village in the south of Italy, like 8,000 people. And then being able to go abroad really opened my mind, of course. Not specifically Eindhoven. I mean, Eindhoven is kind of also a small city. But the Design Academy really gave me the opportunity to be everywhere in the world at the same time. Because my class was composed of like one person coming from each country around the world. So I was living in every part of the world every day. And this really changed my perception. And now, actually, I have friends everywhere, so I can travel for free.
And Lucia?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think it's, I've been really lucky, I would say. Also, I think I've done the most amazing college I could ever, like, back in time, which it was really full of very interesting people that are actually now part of the design scene, and I've been really, really lucky to have my tutors, and I think it really opened up, you know, new perspective, new, you know, it was really, I think I would never be here like if I wouldn't have gone to London, and I don't know, I think the revolutionary act, though, is coming back because it's somehow easy to be cool when you are surrounded by cool people, you know. But then when you go back to reality, then you know, I think it's good to be back and to be able to, you know, kind of, you know, give back what you got.
Thank you. Do we have time for Q&A, or just anyone one question from the audience?
Hi guys, I love all your works, and I love how all your works navigates between traditional and innovation. And I'm sure during the whole process there's a lot of uncertainties as an artist. And I do feel that as an artist, one of your skills is to embrace the fear and to overcome challenges. Would you mind sharing with me maybe one of your kind of fearful moments, and how do you grow from it, and how you might suggest other artists they could overcome it?
The AI.
There's a lot. Maybe I can tell like a small anecdote, very, very small. Once I designed, I remember, a carpet. It was before GROOVIDO, and I did it with the intention of drawing a Sansevieria plant, which is a very elegant plant, and for a company in Portugal, Rag by Gur, and they love the design, so they start production, and at the end I see the final outcome with the text cactus. So it was completely different plant, and so for sure my learning from there was to go with the flow and to really accept sometimes what happens, because it can be very different. But for sure, our job it's very fun. You know, like you need to embrace also. You know,
I would say it's always a roller coaster. You will never be safe, you know, on the safe spot.
If you choose this career, it means that you want to be on the roller coaster, I think. I, for example, I don't have fear of like, I don't know, like, I don't think that there is a specific things that scares me, but at the same time, all the time that you are developing a new project, as I think all the creatives, because we are not engineers, we are not like scientists, no? So like when we start a project, it's very in the cloud, no? Like there is this huge cloud, we full of ideas and full of intention, and one day you wake up and you say, yes, I want to go in that street, and then no, I want to change the street, and I want to cross the street, and I want to do that. And so it's you always know where you start, you never know where you end, you know. So and for sure in between there is fear, but because you don't know actually where you're going sometimes, you know, like and that's the cool part, I do think, like to embrace the fear and like trust the process.
I think it's a main thing for you, because we talked about this before. But I think it's for me, like I think I've chosen a material that really kind of speaks about that all the time, because it's a material that is extremely frustrating. So as my process is just give it a space to it, it kind of never really does what I ask. So sometimes it's just like completely different for what I envisioned. So also working with different artisans. I mean, it's easier when you have to build it yourself. Somehow you have to be able to kind of you are able to kind of if you want to cut a piece of wood, then it's going to be straight unless you sort of like. But I mean, it's with glass is something completely unexpected, and it's about timing. So when there is something wrong happening, it's just happened, and you can't actually mend it back unless you do it like 10 times, and it kind of not even as you want it even back then. So I think it's that for me acts a lot as a life coach, and it kind of helps me to calm down, and also like, I mean, on my side, I think design is my life. It has been kind of really helpful also as a tool of communicating, because I'm not great in communicating. So I kind of, it's another way, like another, way of using language. And so I think it's just, it's cool in this sense, but at the same time, it's not my life. My life is something else. And this really helps me to kind of be back to be grounded, to feel like, shit happened. It went not perfect. It's okay. Next time it's going to be fine, And really kind of, I think we all have a material that actually speaks to us in a very personal way. And I think we should stick to that, using, our tool of communicating better as we can.
I guess time is up. Just one more question from me, actually. Fast forward to 2075. To close this up, wrap this up, 2075, what would you want audience to remember the work that you have done? One adjective or one word that describe your work. For the future that remembers you.
Bricks.
Bricks, okay. Sustainability? I don't know.
I would say color.
Color?
Color.
Beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful, yeah.
People that has to remember.
For you, for your project, one description that in 2075, people would still remember.
Fantasy.
For me, possibility.
Possibility, nice.
Fantasy.
Fantasy. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you all for coming.